Ask any photographer out there what composition is, and you will get an opinion. On the surface, it seems that everyone knows something about it. But here's the thing, when you start digging in, looking at the actual work being produced, you very quickly find that this knowledge is often surprisingly shallow, most based on just a few common compositional rules. You will see photos aligned with the rule of thirds, maybe even Fibonacci ratios. Horizon lines and verticals will be straight, and some might even use leading lines. But for most photographers, the understanding pretty much ends here. How do I know that? Well, being an educator, I see a lot of work from my students. And the most common problem is that the person doesn't truly know what makes a good photograph, or what doesn't. And they don't know because their compositional knowledge is limited. They struggle to assess their own work, so they ask me for my opinion. And they're not to blame. If you have done a photography beginner class or searched the YouTube for videos on composition, you will rarely go beyond the basic rules. But the art of photography goes far beyond these rules. Actually, all the rules that you might encounter, they were invented to explain art, not to create art. So yes, for a beginner photographer, they can work as supporting wheels. But once you start shooting regularly, you need to let them go. And for that, you need to dive in and understand what composition really is. Not its rules, its purpose. And the purpose is simple. The purpose is to visually represent an idea. I like to connect things to food, so I will say it that way. It is the photographer's way to serve the visual dish to the viewer. Let me give you an example. When you're standing in front of something you're about to photograph, what you need to figure out is how to serve this something to the viewer. And that's why I like to call composition a salad. I can give the similar set of ingredients to every one of you and ask you to make me a salad. And each and every one of you will make a different one. Similarly, we can all stand in front of that something that we want to photograph, and all of us will present that something in our own unique way, with someone doing it better than others, which can also be quite subjective. But there is a common ground for aesthetics and what is interesting, beautiful, or engaging. So let's speak about the salad ingredients. Just like salad is made out of different ingredients, simply composition is. So a tomato can be a round object, a cucumber a line, and lettuce a texture. What it means that ideally, to be able to construct a good visual dish, you need to break down a scene into basic ingredients. These can be objects, lines, colors, light, and even empty space. The more of these you can intuitively acknowledge while framing, the easier it will be for you to organize them in a way that will be easier for the viewer to digest. But you will ask, why compose at all? Why don't we just photograph what we see and end with it? Well, a lot of us do that. But we need to understand that if we decided to be photographers, we are dealing with visual art. And visual art usually tries to communicate something. And when someone is looking at it, they kind of want to know what's your message. Ironically, a lot of photographers don't have the slightest idea what they try to communicate, what they try to photograph, or what the message is. So how is the viewer supposed to figure out what you try to say, if you yourself don't know? So when you photograph something, you need to put an intention into it. An intention of what are you trying to show, and try to visually deliver on that intention as much as you can. You will get better and better at it with time, but if you don't put that intention in the first place, you will have weak and random results. And listen to this carefully. You don't need to write explanation text next to photograph. No, the viewer is the one that needs to be able to figure out your message visually, not verbally. So how does composition connect with intention? Well, let's take a scenario. There are two photographers standing, again, in front of something that they want to photograph. One is shooting with intention, the other one just clicks without really trying. The one who just clicks will get the camera result that the camera managed to capture from the angle he was already standing, applying the setting that has been set in the camera. The other one that shoots with intention will identify what triggered his attention, raise the camera to his eyes, and perhaps see that the object he was interested in gets lost among the other elements in the frame. So he will get closer and search for an angle that will straighten his object of interest and weaken the surroundings. He will try multiple angles, work the scene, all the time looking for a way to tell the visual story and organize the visual salad in a way that it makes sense and straightens his story. Which one of these two photographers is most likely to achieve a more interesting result? I bet it will be the one who shot with intention. So okay, you will ask now, composition is intentionality? No. An intentional approach is what will push you to explore composition and bring better results. Composition is still the way we present things. So is it the rules? Well, the basic purpose of the rules is to provide visual comfort. If you compose for the rules, like the rule of thirds or the rule of even or symmetry, you will most likely produce images that are about visual comfort. But since most people shoot following the same rules, they might feel a little bit of ordinary or maybe even a little bit boring. So instead of composing for the rules, I recommend composing for what is important. Choose something that is important and build that composition around it. Organize the things around that thing. You can put that thing central, you can put it on the side of the frame, you can cut it in a nasty way, you can tilt the horizon line, but what is important is that the viewer gets your point, gets what you're trying to communicate. So what I suggest here is go against the common rules of visual comfort and easily digestible images. And perhaps you're not there yet in your photography, but it is important to understand that rules put you in a box of a certain way of thinking. And sooner or later, you will need to get out of that box. Once you start feeling comfortable there, feeling comfortable with the rules, just break out. Okay, so how do I get there? Well, it's step by step. Composition is a knowledge that comes with many tools that you will need to know and many elements to jungle around. Now, before starting, I do want to mention that I do teach these topics on a deeper level in an online meeting once a month. You're welcome to check for more information in the video description. And back to our things. First, master working with a single element. Know how your frame will feel if you place it in the center or if you put it in the corner, having it taking 20% of the frame, having it taking 80% of the frame, shoot it vertically, shoot it horizontally. Do this until you get the gut feeling of how is it to work with a single subject. The second step would be mastering working with multiple objects. 2, 3, 4, and more. The true masters of composition can organize multiple objects in the frame space in a way that is readable, interesting, and tells a story. Learn about grouping, shooting using diagonals, learn to work with layers, and to separate your subjects. By learning all this, you get to understand how to manage different types of objects in your frame. And when you need to organize a lot of them, you do need that knowledge. Learn about visual flow. Did you know that when a person is looking at a photograph, their eyes go through a sort of journey, exploring different parts of the frame? What if I told you that you can manage that flow? You can direct the viewer's attention, making them focus on the things that you want in the order that you decide. It's all composition. Learn about in-frame competition. You need to understand that every single visual element that falls into your frame gets into direct competition with the other elements that are already there. So you will need to learn to manage that. How many competing elements do you want to have there? Do you want them to compete? Do you want to reduce the competition? Do you want to increase the competition? These are all decisions that you will have to make. Learn about balance. Balance is not something mandatory in your work, and you kind of learn the first steps of balancing when you're learning about the rule of thirds, but real balance goes beyond that. You have shape balance, you have tonal balance, you have symmetry, you have visual weight, and much more. Learn to explore different angles. Things look differently from different vantage points. I can add to that things look differently at different focal lengths too. That is the reason I usually recommend to stick to a single focal length during your learning process. There is so much to learn already, so when you also add to that amount of knowledge the different focal lengths you need to figure out, that knowledge barrier to learn is just multiplying. And when I speak about learning, I don't mean read the theory once and you know it. The fact is that a lot of photography is developing habits and feeling. Habits to explore the scene, a feeling of how subject will look at a certain distance or at a certain lighting, and these can be obtained only through direct experience. Only after you try it enough times and you will know the ins and out of it, you will know how to feel these things. You need to learn breaking down every image to the basic geometry. Not always, but it's a good habit to use when you are not clear why something doesn't work in your image. Use natural frames. Learn to use the natural framing to direct the viewer to your objects. Learn to connect the background to your subject. One of the skills that you need to develop is to keep an eye on the background at all times and always analyze how the background and how your subject interact with each other. Composition needs to be applied to everything you see, from what is before your subject to what is behind your subject. It doesn't only work on two-dimensional or flat visual depth of your subject. Camera captures 3 dimensions, including all the levels of depth there, and you need to take these levels of depth into consideration. And all that I mentioned until now is just the beginning. But don't get discouraged. The great thing about photography is that it's a lifelong path. You can walk on it your whole life and every year learn something new and improve. The true compositional knowledge is something you build in layers for years. When the skill is mastered, it's incredibly rewarding. It's often hard to express with words, but when you're out there photographing, you intuitively stand at the right distance. You intuitively know from which side to approach the subject. You intuitively scan the background and the other objects in the frame. You are acting intuitively based on the years of repetition and thoughtful shooting experience that you have built. It's funny, every time I look at photographs from several years ago, I'm shocked at how many mistakes I made when I compose. And it happens throughout all of my career as a photographer. After 5 years, I will look back and think of my older self as clueless photographer. After 10 years, I will look at that 5-year experienced photographer and I will think exactly the same thing. After 15 years, the same. And I'm sure it will keep happening until I'm here and until I continue to photograph. There is always something to learn. So I hope you learned something today and you have a better idea of what composition is. I would love to hear your questions in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time. Happy shooting!